Welcome, everyone, to Buddha's Path to Freedom, the podcast where we explore ancient wisdom for modern living. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. Today, we're going to delve into one of the incredible Jataka stories, also known as birth stories. These are narratives about the previous lives of the Buddha before he became the enlightened one, offering profound lessons and insights into the journey towards spiritual perfection. The Jataka collection is quite extensive, containing 550 stories.
That's right, David. And these stories typically follow a specific structure. They begin with a story of the present, called the Pakapanavattu. Then they move to the story of the past, the Atitavattu. And finally, they conclude with a connection, or samodana, linking the past to the present.
Exactly. And today, we're focusing on the baby quail, or Vattaka Jataka, which is Jataka number 35. It's a powerful tale that shows how even in a past life, the Buddha, then a bodhisattva, demonstrated incredible virtues that had lasting impact.
Let's start with the story of the present, which takes place during the Lord Buddha's time. One day, while the Buddha was on tour through the region of Magadha, he embarked on his morning round for alms through a small hamlet. After finishing his meal, he continued his journey, accompanied by a large group of bhikkhus or monks. Some monks walked ahead, and others behind him.
As they were walking, a great forest fire suddenly broke out. It was raging fiercely and spreading rapidly, transforming the jungle into a roaring wall of flames and smoke. Imagine that terrifying sight.
Indeed, David. This immediate danger caused a significant reaction among the monks. Those who had not yet made attainments were terrified with the fear of death. In their panic, they cried out, "Let us set a counterfire so the jungle fire cannot reach us over the ground we have burned." And they immediately started to kindle a fire.
But not all the monks reacted this way. The others questioned them, asking, "What are you doing? You are blind to the sun rising in front of your eyes. Here you are, journeying along with Buddha who is without equal, but still you cry, 'Let us make a counterfire.' You do not know the might of a Buddha. Come with us to the teacher." This really highlights the differing levels of faith and understanding among the Buddha's disciples.
All the monks then gathered around the Buddha, who had halted as soon as he had seen the flames. The blaze whirled and roared, as if it intended to devour them. But then, something miraculous happened. When the fire was exactly 16 lengths from the spot where Buddha stood, the flames went out. David, the source, describes it beautifully, like a torch plunged into water, extinguished and completely harmless.
The monks were utterly amazed and burst into praises for the Buddha, exclaiming, "Oh, how great are the virtues of the teacher!" Even fire cannot singe the spot where Buddha stands. It was a testament to his power.
But the Buddha, with his characteristic humility and wisdom, told them, "It is no present power of mine that makes the fire go out as soon as it reaches this spot." He clarified that it was the, quote, "power of a former act of truth of mine." He went on to explain that no fire will ever burn this spot during the whole of this world age. This is one of the miracles which will last until the end of this era. This sets the stage for the past story, explaining the profound origin of this enduring miracle.
After this amazing display, the elder Ananda, a close disciple, folded a robe in fourths and laid it down for the Buddha to sit on. Once seated, the monks respectfully bowed and sat around him. They expressed their curiosity, saying, "Only the present is known to us, sir. The past is hidden. Please make it clear to us." And it was at their request that the Buddha then told the story of the past.
So the Buddha began by revealing that long, long ago, in this very same spot, he was reborn as a quail, who was the bodhisattva. This little quail was still confined to the nest, unable to forage, stand, or fly, and his parents fed him by bringing food in their beaks.
And just like in the present story, a great jungle fire broke out. It seems this area of Magadha was routinely ravaged by fire every year in the dry season. As the flames swept through, birds and animals fled for their lives, and the air was filled with the shrieking of adult birds flying away from their nests.
Tragically, the parents of this young quail were as frightened as the others and abandoned their helpless offspring to his fate. Lying alone in the nest, the little quail stretched his neck and saw the flames approaching. He thought to himself, "My parents, fearing death, have fled to save themselves, leaving me here completely alone. I am without protector or helper. Had I the power to take to my wings, I too would fly to safety. If I could use my legs, I would run away. What can I do?"
This is where the story takes a profound turn, showcasing the wisdom that even a helpless creature can possess. The little quail thought further. In this world, there exists the power of goodness and the power of truth. He reflected on beings who, having realized all the perfections in previous lives, had attained enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree and become Buddhas, filled with truth, compassion, mercy, and patience. He realized there was power in the attributes they have won.
And despite his young age and weakness, he grasped a crucial insight. Although I am very young and very weak, I can grasp one truth that is the single principle in nature. He decided to perform an act of truth, calling to mind the Buddhas of the past and the power of their attributes.
The little quail then concentrated his mind by recalling the power of the Buddhas long since passed away. And he declared, "With wings that cannot fly and legs that cannot yet walk, forsaken by my parents, here I lie. By this truth and by the faith that is in me, I call on you, O dreadful fire, to turn back, harming neither me nor any of the other birds."
At that very instant, the fire retreated 16 lengths and went out, just like a torch plunged in water. It left a circle 32 lengths in diameter around the baby quail perfectly unscathed. And from that time on, that very spot has escaped being touched by fire, and will continue to be so throughout this entire era. When his life ended, the quail who had performed this act of truth passed away according to his deserts.
So after sharing this incredible past life story, the Buddha, the Master, brought it all together for the monks. He said, "Thus, monks, it is not my present power but the efficacy of that act of truth performed by me as a young quail that has made the flames spare this spot in the jungle. This reveals the profound and long-lasting impact of virtuous actions."
And to complete the connection, the Buddha identified the various individuals in the story. My present parents were the parents of those days, and I myself the little quail who became king of the quails. This is the Samodana, linking the past to the present, showing the continuity of beings and the consequences of past actions.
At the end of his lesson, the Buddha preached the truths. And, as a result, some of the monks who heard attained the first path, some the second, some the third, and some even became arahats, demonstrating the transformative power of his teachings.
Now, let's take a deep dive into this story. What values can we learn from the Vattaka Jataka? The central concept here is the act of truth. It's a declaration based on an unshakable adherence to a truth or virtue, and it is shown to have profound, almost miraculous power.
Absolutely, Anna. The baby quail, despite being utterly helpless and abandoned, did not despair. Instead, it drew upon the, quote, power of goodness and the power of truth. This teaches us that true strength isn't always physical. It can come from an unwavering moral integrity and adherence to truth. The quail recognized the truth, compassion, mercy, and patience that characterize Buddhas, and by recalling these attributes and declaring its own truth, it manifested an incredible force.
This is so relevant today. We often feel overwhelmed by challenges, like the raging fire, whether it's personal struggles, societal issues, or global crises. We might feel as helpless as that baby quail. But the story encourages us to look inward and tap into our own power of truth and goodness. It's about having faith in fundamental principles of nature and morality.
Precisely. The fact that the quail's act of truth had such a lasting effect, sparing that spot from fire for an entire era, underscores the long-term consequences of our actions and intentions. It speaks to the idea that virtuous deeds, even seemingly small ones, performed from a place of purity, can create powerful, enduring positive outcomes. This aligns with the concept of karma, though not explicitly stated. It hints at how deeply intertwined our past actions are with our present and future.
And what about the contrast between the terrified monks who wanted to fight fire with fire and the Buddha's demonstration? It highlights the power of wisdom and inner peace versus panic and reactive measures. The monks who had made attainments understood the might of a Buddha, which was rooted not in present physical power, but in the accumulated virtues and acts of truth from past lives.
It truly is a lesson in resilience and inner power. Even when forsaken and physically weak, the quail's mind was concentrated and focused on truth and virtue. This is a powerful message for our own lives. When external circumstances are beyond our control, we can always cultivate our inner landscape, aligning ourselves with truth, compassion, and goodness. This in itself is a path to freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from helplessness, and freedom from the limitations of the physical world.
This story also beautifully illustrates the concept of the bodhisattva, a being on the path to Buddhahood, consistently cultivating perfections like truth, compassion, mercy, and patience across countless lives. It shows us that the journey to enlightenment is a gradual accumulation of these virtues, and even in seemingly small acts, these qualities can manifest with profound impact.
So the next time you feel overwhelmed or helpless, remember the little quail. Remember the power of truth within you and the lasting impact of even a single, sincere act of truth.
Thank you for joining us on Buddha's Path to Freedom. We hope this deep dive into the Vattaka Jataka has offered you valuable insights.
Join us next time for another inspiring story. Until then, may you walk your path with wisdom and truth.